Americans are loving their jobs, according to a new report.
Bankrate.com says the average worker surveyed rates his or her job satisfaction a 7 out of 10. 50% went with a rating of 8 or higher. It is kind of an interesting exercise to go through, right? Think about your job and rate your satisfaction. Like, be realistic. Don't be like, I mean, as we've said many times, no job is perfect.
No perfect job. And that's the thing that was most surprising to me in this survey is that 19% of people who responded said they ranked their job 10 out of 10.
Yeah, job satisfaction, right?
And I think they're liars.
Do you think there's something to be like, you just understand, like, okay, these are the parts of my job I don't like. I've accepted them. I'm completely happy.
That's very adult and grown up. I am not that adult nor that grown up.
You know, the reality is, from an economic perspective, the unemployment rate continues to fall. It's been very small, very low. And so, theoretically anyway, that crunch in available employees should have allowed people to kind of get into jobs that do make them happier, or make sure the job they're in is a job they like.
So I always think about my dad, who retired after working for the same company for 35 years. And I think a lot of people in the boomer generation had one job, right?
Yeah.
Were they as happy as we claim to be, I wonder? Or is that just what you did then?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was much less mobility. I tend to think that we overestimate the amount, the willingness of people to like pack up and move to another job. Like, inertia is very strong, and a lot of people are in jobs that they just like. Plus, there are people, Kylie, who just understand that for them, work is work. Like, it doesn't have to be their life's mission. It doesn't have to satisfy some higher anything.
Which is very difficult for the three of us to understand, who are extremely passionate and kind of work focused. Yeah, there are people who go to work and it's their work, but then they come home and that's really where they get the joy and passion in their life. And I think that's fantastic. I wish I could be more like that.
Work to live, not live to work. Not live to work. I also wonder if some of the results of this survey have to do with the way the economy had been going back 10 years ago. Just the fact that you have a job, you're grateful for it, almost that Depression-era mentality that a lot of our parents was instilled into our parents.
People were afraid they were going to lose their jobs.
Right. So I'm just happy to have something.
Yeah, and I think we saw that 10 years ago, too. You know, you think about the recession, and people, again, were happy to get any job. And then with the kind of recovering economy, they've been able to maybe take jobs that they like.
I'm a little surprised, though, that because wages have been so stagnant over the years, it is surprising to me that throughout the generations, even millennials rated their job satisfaction at a 6.9. That's pretty high. It's pretty close to what Gen X was at 7.1.
It's job satisfaction, not salary satisfaction.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe people were counting
they
that.
go together, but maybe not. Yeah.